I'm Joe.
And I'm Ben.
And we're the Bourbon Boys. Let's pour a glass. Welcome back once again to Bourbon Boys. We're so glad to have you here. And we got something that I think is pretty special today. It's very different.
Very different.
And I don't know, we don't a lot of times put stuff on here that's hard to get. I mean, really hard to get, like different parts of the country. But this one is, I don't know how to tell you to get this because I think it's only available at the distillery.
From what it sounds like, yes.
And it's not cheap.
No.
Which we do like cheap. However, sometimes you come across a gem. So I was down, this is from Glens Creek. So I've been to Glens Creek a couple times. It is in the Old Crow Distillery, what formerly was the Old Crow Distillery. A guy named David Meyer bought that, and David is, I shouldn't be that familiar with him because I don't really know him, but he is I've met him several times, but he is a peculiar guy. Very likable in a likable way. But I admire what he's doing down there. So you have Woodford, and then right down the road you got the Castle and Key, which is the Old Taylor Distillery, which they have laid out beautifully. If you haven't been there, I recommend, and they have some tasty products there too. But right next to that, they touch is the Old Crow and now Glens Creek Distillery, and the difference between the two is glaring. The Castle Key is a beautiful piece of land and laid out beautifully. It's just very very nice. This one here is like you're kind of going into someone's garage, and it's really it's cool in its own way, right? So David, he builds all his own equipment. He does things, I think their tagline is, we do things different, but we make it better, or something like that. And he does things differently. So their gift shop is very small. You can only fit maybe 3-4 people in at a time, and you got to kind of scooch in and pass by each other. Actually, I was down there one time, and he wouldn't sell me anything, because he didn't have time to let me sample it. He's like, I'm not gonna sell you something if you don't taste it. I won't do that. So I had to leave empty-handed.
You gotta admire that, though. That's.
I kind of chuckled. I'm like, I can't believe he's not going to sell me anything.
Okay.
But this last time I went down, they did sell me something. So he makes for essentially a very small distillery where they have, I think it's only a couple people really running it. He builds all his own equipment. I think he's upgraded from the beer keg, but essentially he's running stuff through a beer keg still, like a lot of home distillers do. I think he's upgraded, but he builds it all his own, and he has a pretty wide array of products. I'm surprised at the sheer number of options that he has available. So I talked to a nice lady there who was going to give me some samples of some things because he won't buy it without a sample.
Right.
And I told her what I was looking for. I was like, I like the dark fruits and tobaccos and like sweet but rich sweet, not like light sweet.
Right.
Is what I prefer. And she said, oh, I got something for you. And she goes, it's not. I said, which one is it up here? She goes, it's none of those. This is something else. And she pulled out this. This is Glens Creek Ryskey Whiskey Select Premium Rye Whiskey. And I don't know if you can see how dark that is on the camera. You cannot see through it. If you hold it up to the light, which I know there's no way for me to do that to you, it looks like looking through a garnet.
Yeah.
It's really dark. And she poured me some, and it's so good. So it's pricey. It's like $120 bucks.
Okay.
The proof on it is a 114.2, so it got a higher proof. Now he makes a lot of his own bourbon. He makes all his own bourbon, and he's got some vodkas and some white spirits, and he makes all those. But the rye whiskey, he actually, he's very upfront about that. He gets from MPG. Now, so he has a regular Ryskey Rye whiskey that he has, and then he has this. So what he does is he doesn't like to dump the barrels like everyone else. He puts them the night before because the char that comes out clogs his equipment. So what he has done now, instead of dumping it into a trough with a screen in it, like everyone else does, he will set the barrels upright so that all the sediment settles down. Then he pressurizes the barrel to push or pump the bourbon out. to keep the char on the bottom. Now, when he does this, when it starts pumping char, he turns it off. So at the bottom, apparently there's 2 to 5 gallons of whiskey left, depending on how much char is in that barrel, and he's thinking that's a lot to waste. So what he does, first does the muck at the bottom of the barrel. He sets the first barrel up there, pumps it out, then he does another barrel and another barrel, and every time he has that muck at the bottom, he puts all that muck into the first barrel that he had until that barrel is full. Then he reseals that barrel and he puts it back into the rick house for another 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I don't even know how long.
Whatever he wants. Yeah.
He just samples it every once in a while, and when he thinks it's ready, he brings it out. So this says very small batch, and by small batch, I was told down there that he does 1 to 2 barrels of this a year that he releases.
That is mighty small.
This, in fact, is bottle number 2 from barrel number 2. So as of now, he has released 2 barrels of this. I'm pretty sure bottle number 1 is what she was pouring samples out of.
Giving you, yeah.
But it is so dark, and I was afraid it was going to be really like char and
oaky,
woody and oaky, but it's not.
Delightful nose. So good.
Yeah. The nose on it is just fragrant. Comes out, and you are getting exactly what I asked for. The dark fruits and tobacco notes and just deep richness, right?
Yep.
Wow. It is very different. I've never tasted another whiskey like this.
Yeah.
And when I say it's unique, but unique in a good way, not in a bad way. And I know I'm getting worried about this, but but man, I really like this stuff.
Yeah. It's a cool little, I guess, technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The muck.
Very
He's the
interesting.
only one doing it, right?
Yeah.
And so if you get a chance, if you're in the Versailles area near Lexington, I would visit these distilleries and I would ask about this. Now, he also has a bourbon called OCD number 5 bourbon, and he is doing the same thing with that bourbon where he's barreling the muck. However, he's been doing it for 5 years now.
Okay.
Is what, 4 or 5 years? He has not released any of those yet. So those will be coming up. I'm going to be going back down there and getting more ready. Not ready.
Okay.
It's not ready.
Cool.
He won't. Like I said, he's like Paul Masson. Son of bourbon before it's time.
Oh, that's just great.
It really is. So we're going to finish this. And we're going to savor it. As you can see, I have had this a number of times, and I have been sharing this with a lot of people.
Sharing the love.
Because it's just such a unique flavor. So we'll be back with our final thoughts. All right, as you can see, man, we drank that, and there's just like hold on, there's a drop. Hold on. No, you don't want to waste a drop of that. So, wow.
Amazing.
This is so unique. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's a really fun one to drink.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorites. I mean, this is going to be this is right up there. I don't know if I like it better than a couple of my very favorite ones, but it's right up there. And you hit it on the nose. I was trying to hit we were talking about the flavors on it, and you said...
I said Fig Newton with the cookie and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what that tastes and smells like.
You're right. It's the dried fig from a Fig Newton, and then you get that little baking cookie dough thing in there, and man, is it good. And get it on the nose, and you get it on the palate.
Yep.
And it's a nice, thick, creamy palate.
Yes.
Just coat your whole mouth, and then the finish, you just get... Forever. You just get a light amount of spice on the finish from that rye. Not an overpowering spice, but it just kind of fades from that sweet fig into the spice, and it's really nice. So
yeah, it's great.
I'm going to give this one I think 4.5 on the flavor, because I really like it.
Okay.
I wouldn't have bought the $120 bottle after tasting it if I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
And then on value, I'm going to give it, it delivers. This is what you're looking for. When you're spending over $100 on something, you're wanting something special, unique, that just pow. And this delivers on that. So I think the value is there. I'm going to give it a 4.5 on the value too.
Okay.
Or Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5 because it to me this is worth $100. I see why this is worth $120. I see how much effort it puts into it, and the time involved in making this and producing this and getting this into a bottle. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And it's worth it to me. So
Yeah.
I would get another bottle of this.
Okay.
I'm going to get another bottle. I really want to try that bourbon when it gets
Get the bourbon one, yeah, for sure. So, I mean, like, again, I'm right there with you. 4.5. This stuff is fantastic. And with the value of it, there's a huge amount of time, effort, going through the process of dumping the barrels and
patience.
Patience.
Who has the patience for this?
I know, right? Because this stuff is already aged, and then they age it again. So,
right.
no problem with paying $120 for this value. I'm going to say 4.5, easy. Yep.
This is one. Yeah, if you get a chance, I don't know the distribution. I've never seen any of their products in any store ever. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. I don't know where. They're not in Kentucky. They're not in Ohio. I've not seen them in Indiana, or Illinois, or Missouri, where I've been.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them anywhere. I hope they're out there somewhere, but I know you can get them in Versailles, Kentucky, just down the road from Woodford. So it's not far off the highway. So if you're going through there, I recommend stopping in. It's a unique and interesting experience, and it's a unique and interesting drink. So, got any comments on that?
Yep. Let us know.
Let us know.
We'll see you.
Thanks for watching.